Hi guys, welcome to my channel. How you doing? And welcome. If you're new here, karibu sana, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Before we go further, remember to subscribe if you haven't, and also to comment and also to share with your friends or with your network. So in today's video, I have something interesting and I want us to discuss about vulnerability. So this is something that we all go through in our day-to-day life, and how do we maneuver around it? Do we really know the art of being vulnerable, its importance, and also the downside of it, because I believe that each and everything has a positive and a negative, and vulnerability is one of them. Because this, let's get into the video. So guys, what is vulnerability? Vulnerability is the emotional state of being open and willing to love and to be loved. And here we are not just speaking about romantic relationships, but all relationships. It can be with your family, with your friends, with your partner, with your business, with your colleagues, with your business partners. Also, it calls for vulnerability. So being vulnerable is you being open to yourself, and also recognizing that the openness can lead to heartbreak. The openness comes with a risk, an emotional risk, of disappointment, of being heartbroken, of being taken advantage of. So that's the art of being vulnerable. So in every aspect, even in your life, there are people that you've become vulnerable to. You've been opened yourself and served as your true self, and they have taken advantage. So being vulnerable is a common thing for humans. And also, guys, I want you to remember that as human beings, we are not perfect. Okay? So, and over time, um, maybe even right now, look at your life right now. Do you remember an instance where you were very open to someone and then they took advantage? Like they had broke you, or they went against maybe the contract, or they took advantage, or they know your weakness, knowing your weakness and then using it like in a negative way. Okay, the next part, guys, I want us to look at, is vulnerability important? Yeah, I'm here to tell you that it is very important to be vulnerable. And also, as we become vulnerable, remember that it's okay to assess who you're becoming vulnerable to. Who are you opening up yourself to? Of course, you don't go just telling your secrets, telling your stories, showing your business list to every person. You have to be very careful. Okay? So, being vulnerable is important, and the number one important thing is that it builds a connection. There can never be a connection without vulnerability. You can never connect deeply with your family, with your loved ones, with someone you're starting a business to, without vulnerability. You have to be serving your authentic self. You have to be you have to be open to telling your story. You have to be open um to showing yourself and who you are, because there can never a connection. Imagine having a friend or getting into a partnership with someone, like marriage or relationship, and then you're still hiding some aspects of yourself because you fear. And we'll talk about why we fear doing that. But basically right now, I want to tell you that being vulnerable is important. Importance of being vulnerable. So number one, it builds stronger relationships. As we have said, there can never be a strong relationship without vulnerability. This is because you're opening yourself up. You are willing to connect with this other person. You're willing to know them more. You're willing to just be open so that you can do business. I can't be hiding my financials and I want to get into a partnership, or I want to bring in an investor in my business. But we also understand the risks that may come with it, okay? You can never build a stronger relationship of any kind, even friendship, without vulnerability. So the second thing why being vulnerable is important, self-acceptance. Guys, the solution comes back to yourself. We are not going out there to look for solutions. When you become vulnerable and when you decide to be open to people, or depending on what the case is, so it's an individual case by case basis. So self-acceptance, it means that you're willing and you're ready to serve from your authentic self. Authentic self means that you're ready to serve as who you are. Like, I am Anne, and this is what I like, this is what I don't like. So I'm serving others from that point. I am not pretending to be anyone else, and I am not trying to be anyone else. So I'm not people pleasing the other person. I'm serving as me. And there's nothing great than serving as you. Okay? Because, and what you should do here is that put the necessary boundaries that are supposed to be there while protecting your authentic self. And that brings us to the third point. When you become vulnerable, when you become open to the other person, or in any situation that you have brought up here, it means that you are ready and you are able to handle situations as they come. This can be the risks that are about to come, that when I'm vulnerable to you, and in future there's a heartbreak or there's a separation, or now we can't do business together, you are able to handle that, because remember, you have accepted yourself and you are serving as yourself. There's no people pleasing, there are boundaries that were kept. And you also recognize that if this relationship has failed, business partnership has failed, my family has failed me, it means that you recognize who you are and you're confident with yourself, and you know that, you know what, at that time, I gave my best. That they chose to heartbreak me is their problem. Exactly. It's their problem. It's not a you problem. It's their problem. That there's any insecurity that's coming in, you can assess it and say, is it my problem or is it their problem? You know, so your openness has given you the confidence and the ability to handle situations as they come. So, how do we recover? How do we recover from the fear of being vulnerable? Guys, before even I go further, I want to tell you that uh, when you fear being vulnerable, I was reading and I noted that, let's say you were heartbroken, an analogy of a relationship. Let's say you are heartbroken, you've been heartbroken before, you've been disappointed, and you really don't know if you can handle another relationship, or your money was stolen in a business and you really don't know if you can even have a business partnership again, and you have that fear, and then you've come across this person that you want to be in a relationship with, or another good partnership, an investor wants to invest in your business, and then you say, you know what, I can't do this because I've been heartbroken before. So how do you handle that situation? You know, get this, that every time you say no, or you fear to take the next big step that's about to come, just because of the past, of the heartbreak, of the disappointment, you have built a shield, you have built walls. You know what, I'm protecting myself. And you know it's valid to protect your feelings, your emotions. It's because being heartbroken is painful. And so we are bound to build walls that protect our emotional peace. But you know what, guys? Anytime you say no to the next big thing because you don't want to be open, you don't want to try it again, you are giving power to everyone that came before that shield. You are giving power to every person that had broke you. So, how do you recover from the fear of being vulnerable? As we have said, no one is perfect, and your feelings are valid. That you want to protect yourself is very valid. But you know what? Just remember that very first point, there's no connection without vulnerability. So, what you do is, number one, embrace your authentic self. Be who you are. Be yourself. Don't pretend to be anyone else. Don't pretend even at one point. Just serve as you, because you're not perfect. Sorry. Even the person that you think is perfect is battling their own insecurities. So you just better be yourself, okay? And then, guys, we fear being vulnerable because you've been hurt before. You need to learn to love yourself and to accept yourself with the flaws that you have and with all the mistakes that you have made. Accept yourself like that and serve from that point. Don't go pleasing people. What you need to do is create the boundaries that are required. Like if it's a relationship, what are the deal breakers that are for you, and communicate that with your partner. If it's a business relationship, get that contract that clearly states the boundaries that you two can go through. So the second thing, guys, how to overcome the fear of being vulnerable is aim for excellence and not perfection. As we have said, no one is perfect in this whole wide world. No one is perfect. Even who do you think is perfect? Me, I just think only God is perfect. Even that your role model. Imagine if your role model and the way you see them as perfect beings, the way you feel like they're doing their things well, they are organized, they know what to say and when to say it, they know how to dress. What if you had something negative about them one day? Would you stop loving them? No, you wouldn't. You would give them a chance, and you would say that, you know what, he's not perfect, she's not perfect, and you're still admiring them, you're still loving them, you're still kind to them in your mind. So guys, why not be that for yourself? You see the love that you're giving your role model, or that person that you admire so much, that love you give to your friends, that kindness you give to your friends, that respect that you give to other people, you know who, be that to yourself, because you deserve it. If you start treating yourself well, being kind to you, talking positive things about yourself, that's where self-love begins. And with self-love, you'll be comfortable, you'll accept yourself, and you'll know the limits, you'll know the boundaries, and you will not fear to go out there to shine as an imperfect person, ready to learn and ready to conquer the world. The third thing, guys, is that accept your mistakes. You know, normally when you make mistakes as a human being, you start beating yourself up and you start seeing yourself as a failure. And you're always like, wow, why can't I do better? Why can't I always win? Like maybe you start comparing yourself to someone else. But I'm here to tell you to take your mistakes as lessons. And guys, this is something that just doesn't happen overnight. It's a step by step basis. Like today, learn to love yourself today. If you fail tomorrow, repeat. If you fail the next day, repeat. What are you doing wrong? Love yourself, be kind. If you talk negatively about yourself, be kind today. If you forget, repeat again tomorrow. Give yourself an ultimatum to be better every single day. Take your mistakes as lessons, work on those lessons, and come out confidently. Guys, I had a camera hiccup. So guys, and finally, the final thing on how to overcome the fear of vulnerability is to remember that you cannot be everything to everyone. In this, remember that you come first. Serve yourself first. Fill your cup first. I've said this a million times before. You cannot be everything to everyone. Serve according to your limit. How much can I serve? Can I give 50%? Yes, I can. Do that. Don't stretch yourself to give 100 that you don't have and that you don't know how to get it. Okay. So offer yourself based on love rather than the fear of self-judgment. You know, most of the time people ask for help. It can be even family, friends, or you're called to serve at some place. And you're like, oh my God, I have to do this. They want me to do this. Like, and you can't even do it. The reason you are saying you will do it is so that you're not judged. Oh, they'll think I'm this. They'll think I'm doing that. Serve from a place of love. You know what? You ask that I do this 1, 2, 3. I can only do one and do it perfectly. Can you outsource the rest? or can you find other people who are at a good place to serve in this other thing? Okay, so always remember that you cannot be everything. You cannot solve the world problems, but you can do it one at a time. That's it for now. The battery is going down. And I hope that you love yourself. I hope that we can learn to love ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, and to not fear being vulnerable. But I don't mean that you don't assess the situation, assess the person, assess the situation, and serve it from a place of comfortability, from a place of self-love. Never do anything outside your comfort zone, so that you can please others. Please you first, guys. Please you first. You come first. We need a happy you. If I'm happy, I'm giving you happiness. If I'm sad, I'll definitely give you sadness. And if I have a lot of hate, I'll definitely come to you with a lot of hate. You'll find the people that abuse others online. I mean, from where is that coming from? I hope we can all give love. Love. Be a love billionaire, as Kit Carey says. When you are used to getting a lot of love from your family, from your friends, and giving love, when hate comes to you, it's like a foreign thing. Let's work towards filling our cup of love to ourselves first, because if my cup of love is full, I'm going to give you love and peace. But if my cup of love is empty, you're going to say like everything. You'll be criticizing everything. You'll be hating everything. When people come at you, you'll just think that they are addressing you in a negative way. You just be ready to defend yourself and to fight the air. Just be kind to yourself, love yourself, be happy about yourself, because all the solutions come back to yourself. So when you start building a healthy you, you're going to offer a healthy you to the world, and what else do we need? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Be sure that I'll be coming back with more. And see you next time. Subscribe, like, and share the video. Bye bye.